Moving on to hooves, Rissa. And again, hooves is something that I think is probably also a nutrition element to it. But specifically, obviously, when we're having these wet spells in Joburg, and I'm sure Cape Town.
Farrier's biggest nightmare is the wet.
We're getting these thrush, these
soggy
cheered heels.
Dirty, soggy feet, wet feet, the lamina and the tubules get damaged. And that's where the problem lies. So, if you can try and have your water troughs in areas raised so that they can actually stand somewhere dry.
Okay.
Instead of having your water trough in a dip and then the water splashes out and the horse is always standing and wet.
Okay.
So that's probably a good thing. And then the other thing is the nutrition. So if you have, you have a herd, every horse's feet are fine except one. So what's the problem? That's the problem. It's not your feeding. But you can supplement that horse and try and supplement it with things like, with biotin, zinc. But maybe if you give them a higher dose, they'll take in 10% of the higher dose, which makes it equal to what the other horses are getting in a normal diet. And so I would do that.
Okay. And what else can owners do when they're sitting in these wet. Like, I mean, in Cape Town, it's just been unavoidable at the moment. What can they do to help those feet?
So they do think that by putting Stockholm tar on the sole helps a lot. I know a lot of the farriers are keen on that. And then I think if you can, and they can come in and be dry for 12 hours.
Oh, okay.
I think that also helps a little bit so that they're not just standing in wet all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of talk about the periopal and putting all those greases on the outside. It's still a little bit out to the jury as to whether that really helps.
Okay.
But I think, maybe if you're in that kind of wet all the time, it might be worth trying that. I think sometimes those ointments that you can put on and you rub into the coronary band, I think that's because you increase the circulation and increase the growth of that hoof.
I've heard, I said
that probably is.
I think I took her to a farrier years ago and I said, like, which one's better? And he was like, Vaseline in your hand, like save yourself some money and just massage.
It's the massage that makes a difference.
And again, banana eating horses getting hoof massages. I mean, of course. And then in Joburg, we would ordinarily be having a little bit of the opposite, dry. But I mean, I suppose dry is generally better for a hoof than
it is. It's quite interesting. Their hoofs become incredibly hard in the winter months.
Like you see your Karoo horses have those.
And that seems to be a lot better. The only problem is if you get an abscess in there, they just cannot get them out because it's so hard. So just bear that in mind, that if you have a deep abscess in a hoof in the winter, they take a bit longer to draw.
Or you'll be having to soak it constantly.
Because of that. So then you realize what a difference it makes being on the dry or on the wet. Yeah.